I can stop calling you there, even at dinner.
You can share.
Cool, and we're live.
Okay.
Those live
Oh,
before.
1 more minute.
Yeah, we 1 more minute, so we're waiting for Kate.
Here's, I think James Denya's here. Yeah.
I call the corner, the time is right in the corner, mind, isn't it?
What's that? Sorry, Teresa?
It's good that the time is in the corner of the screen.
Hmm.
So can I just comment that Chris had Western Bay of Plenty PHO?
Yeah, we've already had that discussion.
And I've changed that.
So are you a PHO?
Yes, he is.
Right. Okay.
Who said that? Derek.
Yes.
I used to also be at the DHB and I implemented MCP for the DHB.
Okay.
Okay,
I've
so
worked in health IT for 28 years.
Oh, that
You
must
guys
be,
have got more acronyms
Hey.
than council have got.
hey,
So-
that must be very frustrating to
can
work
I
in health
just
IT.
can I just stop you talking in the moment? It's now 7 o'clock. Do we have Pete and Marie yet?
No, they haven't come through yet.
So what I'll do is I'll give them a few more minutes and then we can.
You can kick off. You've got
Okay.
enough to kick off. Yeah.
All right then. Okay. Well, look, I will declare this meeting open. This is the Ōmokoroa 22, the second held by Zoom this year. So at the moment we have present, we have Dawn, Dwight, Derek, Janisha, John, and we have Ashley Hall, James Graham, James Denver, Panella, and we have Chris Denver from in the public forum as a community member. So
Excuse me.
yes,
Deva. It's like
Deva.
Eva with the D in front.
Deva. Okay, all right. So I would like to thank everyone for coming, and I declare the meeting open and I welcome everyone. At the moment, we don't have any apologies. We can wait, and if there's any late entrances, we can. Do we have any late items that we know of?
No.
No. Okay. So before we go any forward, I would like to ask if anyone's got any conflicts of interest to declare that now. Do we have any of those? No. Okay. So I'm happy to go into public forum, and if everyone is, we don't have to close the meeting, we can just carry on. Okay.
No.
So
Carry
go
on.
to
Yeah.
public forum. So I'm understanding we only have Chris Denver in public forum. So Chris, would you like to speak?
I'm always keen to speak. I've got two things I'd like to raise. One is I'm very pleased to see that the street lighting has been one of the action items that's in the minutes. As someone who walks very early in the morning, I am very concerned about the street lighting around what I think you call Ōmokoroa village, which is Ōmokoroa beach, that end of town. Actually, you might be able to still see the injuries, but I came a real gutser the other morning, and my usual walk is to go along Hamuana Road and around down then onto Ōmokoroa Road and back to my place at 53 Ōmokoroa Road. There's some really bloody dark, I got 5 a.m. There's some really bloody dark places there. I'm pleased you're doing something about some street lighting, but I would like to make sure that someone does a survey of the dark bits, because in particular at on Hamuana Road, there are, especially near the sort of Tralee Street end, at Tralee Street itself, there are some really dark stretches along there. There's no streetlights at all along that street. And in the hollow where it goes down to Beach Grove, it's pitch dark at the little place where there's a, there's like a little, what do you call that thing? A pedestrian island or something is completely dark. I mean, there's no light there at all. And I became a bit of a gutser. But anyway, that's not my most important story. My most important story is once upon a time I was driving along with a lawnmower in my boot, and it fell out. It bloody smashed the lawnmower, bloody smithereens. It was an old lawnmower. I wasn't too fussed, but I had to get rid of it. So one morning I decided, right, so I went up to the service station on State Highway 2 and I hired myself a trailer, which cost me, I don't know, $35 or something. Then I brought it home and I put the lawnmower in a bit of a rubbish, admittedly, and I drove all the bloody way to Tamanga transfer station. Now I have to tell you, from my place, that's a 30-kilometre round trip. All right. So, but it wasn't so bad, except it was a Saturday morning, and on a Saturday morning I ran into the traffic at the roundabout at Tapuna, and I sort of struggled through to what's that little town called? Oh, Bethlehem. Struggled through to there, and then I got through Bethlehem. I was went right, and then on the motorway, and I'm bloody going like hell. And about halfway through the road across to on State Highway 29A, sort of way before I got the back, I ran to the back of the back of the traffic again. So I waited. I'm a very patient guy, and so I struggled around there, and I went round the two roundabouts, and I turned left into Truman Ave. And I went along there, I turned into the transfer station, except I couldn't actually turn into the transfer station because there was a queue outside. And so I sort of struggled through that queue. And then when I got inside, I was still in the queue. The queue went all the way back for bloody, we had to go right down the transfer station and way back up the other side. And I got charged the minimum price for throwing away my which was, I don't know, $35 or something. And for throwing away actually I didn't throw it away, I put it in a place that was recycled aluminium or something. I went into one of those sort of things. And so by the time I got home, I'd spent probably 2 hours. I'd spent money renting a trailer. I'd sat in traffic for a hell of a long time. I got there and I got charged $35 to dump my lawnmower. But I'd done 60 Ks in my car. Guys, you got to do something better about getting rid of rubbish at this side of town. It is bloody crazy to have to drive to Bay Park to get rid of something simple that you can't get rid of as green waste. That's all I've got to say. Thank you.
Thank you for your story, Chris. I'm assuming you want us to look into how our refuse rubbish.
I don't ask you to do anything. I just want you to take this on board, and as you're involved in your conversations in life, I would like you to think about the sort of people who are paying bloody good rates in Ōmokoroa.
Thank you. I appreciate your input this evening. Is there anything else you'd like to discuss before we move on?
I've only got one more thing. John, it'd be lovely to see you at the I'm organising the Anzac Parade, or sorry, I'm helping somebody else organise the Anzac Parade. And John, I'll be looking forward to seeing you there. And I might look forward to seeing the rest of you too.
Yes. Yeah, I'll be there.
Thank you.
What time's
Chris.
that one, Chris?
What, the Anzac Parade?
Yeah.
It's at 6 a.m., as most of them in the world are.
Well, there's the number during the day. That's right.
Oh,
I
yeah,
traditionally go to
Sorry, no,
Katikati.
this is the dawn service we're doing at the little cairn
Oh, yeah.
up in the park. It's our first year of organising it. I must admit, I'm sort of advertising a wee bit.
First year of dawn service.
No, there's always been a dawn service.
Oh, there has.
It's there's always been a dawn service. Just that last year, the people who organised it said that they couldn't do it any longer, which was Matthew Farrell and his wife. And this year, Greg Taylor and I have taken over the thing of sort of organising it. So we're putting that together. We had a lot of people there last year, and we're hoping to have the same sort of number of people here this year under the new regime, because now we've got no limit to outside gatherings.
So I'm not sure, Chris, if you were aware that on our last meeting that and if it's still okay with Peter's actually representing the board at the moment. So it depends on who else can be there.
Oh, that's good, Peter. I'd love to see you there.
So I think as
Sorry, I thought it was John who was representing the board there.
No.
Peter, I'd love to see you there.
Yeah, Peter's representing the board and will be laying a wreath on our behalf. So
Cool.
okay. So with that,
Teresa, if you like, I can just speak to his issue over the rubbish a little bit.
yep, okay.
Well, he raised a valid point, and obviously TCC shutting down the Malimi Street has occurred in the last, is it 12 or slightly over months? So that came as a surprise to me. I didn't realise the life of it was so limited, and there would only be the one option. But obviously Western Bay is going to need to look at the future of it. Currently we have a charge in the Katikati ward for recycling, a charge in the Tipuki, and a green waste charge in Ōmokoroa. And I actually live outside of those areas and pay nothing at all. So you raise a valid point. There was a bit of mischievous letterbox dropping going on about council purchasing some land at the start of Ōmokoroa Road for a transfer station, which isn't true. That seems to have died down a bit now. But your point is very valid, and this area, James is there, he'll probably be part of sorting it out, whether I am or not, I don't know. But I'd say it would be one of those issues that needs to be addressed very shortly.
So
It's not in this year's annual plan spend that we're consulting on and talk about a bit later on, but it would have to come into the discussion for the following and subsequent years.
okay, well we can flag
Yep.
that so it comes up. Okay,
I'd
Chris wants to talk.
just like to add that all of my points are well thought through.
Very good. James was going to put his hand up and add to my discussion.
I just wanted to mention that consideration of transfer station is one of the items that's going to be considered in the waste management and minimisation plan. And because there were some submissions to the waste management bylaw, I think it was, and they've been transferred to the discussions on the plan. So it is a consideration that has been made by other residents, and I think council will be looking at that in the next wee while.
May I make a
James.
comment?
Yep. Yes.
This is fascinating, the waste management and sustainability discussion. I mean, the reality of it is that, as you say, it's accessibility to places where you can recycle or send, your scrap metal or other bits and pieces. So it's efficient and causes minimum impact on the environment. At the moment, there comes a cost to the individual at some level, either collection or travel, even if it's 60 kilometers, to arrive there and pay another surcharge to dispose of the items. However, no item is produced that ever just spontaneously disappears with no impact on the environment. And in some way, we're trying to solve these problems, but at a national level, there should be some charge imposed upon all items sold that eventually will need to be disposed of. And that should therefore go back into the system and make it so that people will be able to easily dispose with lack of problems with accessibility and barrier to do so and do the right thing. But we haven't evolved to that level yet.
Chris, Mole was obviously too big to smash up and put in your red lid bin for $4. You could have disposed of it.
With good sledgehammer, I could have probably done it, but
I've put lots of things in mine. Oh, I've been not
Wouldn't have
saying
been able to lift the bin.
we won't, John, we won't tell them about those 2 cans of paint.
Okay, I think probably the conversation is now needs to be moved on.
Hey, Teresa.
Yes.
Hey, Pete here. Hey, Chris. I'll definitely see you on the 25th, mate. And
Yep.
I don't know if you remember, but we had a chat last year at
That's
the
right,
dawn
we did,
service,
yep.
right? Yep, look forward to seeing you on the day, and congratulations on picking it up on behalf of those who've gone before. And you know, I know you guys do a fantastic job.
You might have to wait to see whether you do a good job.
No, I think that's pretty much guaranteed, because you realise what you took on that day, right? And you know,
Yep.
I think you're pretty invested. You're pretty invested in it.
Greg Taylor is the leader of it.
Yep.
And he's got a military background and knows where the flag should be and stuff. I'm just going to be the front man.
No, be good.
Okay.
Thanks, Teresa.
You're fine. If there's nothing else, I think we'll move out of public forum and into the meeting. The next item on the agenda is the minutes of the Ōmokoroa Community Board meeting held on the 8th of February 2022. The recommendation is that the minutes of the Ōmokoroa Community Board meeting held on the 8th of February 2022 as circulated with agendas be confirmed as true and accurate record. I'd like those for. Don? Against?
A mover and a seconder, Teresa.
Moving a seconder.
Don was
Don was
first
first
and John
Pete
was second.
Right, okay. And any against? No, so carried. So item 9 on the agenda is reports. So I would like to say that take the chairperson's report can be taken as read, and any further discussion on the below items if needed. So is there any further discussions on my report? No? Okay, well, I will take that as, so can I have a mover and those for?
Hey, Teresa, I'll move, but
Yeah.
I'd also just in passing, sorry, I was trying to get off mute.
Yep, that's fine.
And I just congratulate you on what is a very comprehensive, report. So well done.
Thank you. So to move that is, so Derek is the second. So who was the first? Who moved it?
Me.
Oh, Pete moved it. That's right. So any against? No. Okay, thank you. So next item on the agenda is the Ōmokoroa Community Board Council's report. Is Murray here?
No, he's not.
He's not. Okay, because was he going to speak to us? So I would take his report as read unless there's any other correspondence, and if need be, if Don could respond to that. So is there any comments on that? No? So if I can call for a move.
I'm happy to add just a little bit.
Okay.
The rates is always topical.
Yep.
So the annual plan is out, and globally over the whole district, 3.96% is the proposed increase. For urban Ōmokoroa will be less than that because of lower increases for water and wastewater charges, which probably make up a third of your rating account. I see James Graham, our CFO's online as well. So maybe a slightly good news story, although people will remind us of the years of rates they've had to endure. But with inflation exceeding us for a change, we're actually doing our bit to drag inflation down. So that's it on the financial front. I thought Murray'd be here, and so I actually don't have a copy in front of me, but if anyone's got any questions, I'm happy to answer anything.
Hey, say that number again, Don. What was the highlight number? What?
Well, it's 3.96 across the whole district. That's as a whole.
Right.
And if you break out urban out of that, it'll be less than that. It'll actually go on the staff are nearly close to completing it. James might want to comment. It's going to go up on the Western Bay rate search. You can go online and search your property, punch in your address, and it will give the proposed change for next year, starting July the 1st. James, you got anything to add, James Graham?
Oh, just to say it's slightly lower than what we thought it would be when we put together the LTP, the last LTP. So we were forecasting 3.98 across the district, and it's 3.96. And just to back up what, so you can argue we've been prudent. So just to back up what Don said, sometime very soon on our website, it'll probably be in the next 2 weeks. We're just modelling it now. We'll have the detailed split on there. Quite a big job to break that down based on updated plan. It's kind of the last component of it.
Thank you, James. Is there
There's no further questions. I'm happy to move Murray's report.
Okay. I'm happy to second. Anyone against? No. Carried. Next one item on the agenda is the infrastructure service report to the community board in April. So the report can be taken as read with any further discussion where needed. So if there's no further discussion, I would call for a mover and a seconder, and that the Deputy Chief Executive Report dated 8th of April, titled Infrastructure Report, Community Board, April 2nd, be received. So the mover is Dawn, seconder. Was that you, Pete?
John's got his hand up there.
Oh, John's got his hand up. So John, any against? So I'll have that as carried. Okay, so the next item on the agenda is the financial report from Ōmokoroa, February 2022. And should that be April?
What's that? Sorry, it's no February 20. No, it's
Last
they
one.
always do it back. Yeah,
okay, that's fine. Sorry. So if we can take this report taken as read with any further discussion, do we have any discussion on the financial report? So the recommendation is I call for a mover and a seconder of the Financial Business Advisors Report dated the 5th of April 2022, titled the Financials Report Ōmokoroa February 22 be received. Those for? Did we have a mover? Yep. Can we have a mover first? Derek's mover. Can we have a seconder?
Yep.
John. Any against? No. Carried. Okay.
Hi, sorry, Teresa, just to add the reason it's the February report. Sorry,
Yep.
Teresa, just to, the reason it's the February report is literally March has closed, end of March has closed. Now it's the 5th of April. So we've got a timing delay between the month end close and the latest report. So that's why it's a month behind. We'll have March's report ready in about 3 or 4 days.
Okay, thank you, James. I appreciate that. So the next item on the agenda is the council standing committees and community board meetings. I would like to have a mover and a seconder for the schedule of meetings for April, May and June 22 be received. Do I have a mover? John. Do I have a seconder? Don. And any against? Carried. So that takes us to, if there's no further business, I declare the meeting closed.
Oh, we can't let Ashley come to the whole meeting and say not much. What do you got for us, Ashley?
Okay.
Oh, not much. No, I'm comfortable with that.
You come to, you do. Actually, I will say something. Ashley and I were on, had a visit to the Kaimai views in regarding the vegetation there that came through in the last report, and between the two of us and Esther from Westlink, we are looking at finding a solution for the vegetation that has obviously been the wrong plants planted and causing quite a hazardous to the footpath and the walk in there. So that's just a background that has come since my report.
Yeah, I'd probably just expand on that a little bit too. We did a bit of around the neighbourhood consultation just with the stage 1 community, just asked what they wanted. I think we got about 16 responses. They're all generally negative. One thing I would add to that though, when we met people actually on site, they didn't seem too bothered. So I think we just got the negative responses rather than anything particularly positive about the planting. It is an eyesore, I would probably agree to that. But we're looking at moving forward somehow or another and getting the planting sorted once and for all.
Ashley, just on the community Facebook page, there was mention of people incurring flat tyres on the reconstruction part. Have swaps offered to reimburse anyone for that? Apparently the claims were made at the pre-consultation. I just wondered if anything became of that.
I haven't heard that, sorry, Don, but I was surprised they would fund anybody's replacement tyres.
Yeah, well, someone made the claim that they'd mentioned they would, but I wasn't there, so I don't know. I'm just inquiring.
It's a work site, I guess, at the end of the day. So, and I
Yeah. Chris has got the answer, actually, if you let him speak.
Significantly less chance of doing tyre damage.
Okay. Chris, what's the answer?
I don't know the answer, but I do know that the Ōmokoroa Facebook page advice was claim from your insurance company and they'll claim from JSWAP. Whether the insurance company claim or not is...
Can I just because I can see this conversation going off in different directions. Can I just bring the meeting to a close? And